Hello my friends and welcome, my name is Dennis and this is the latest update from Ukraine. And this is our defense minister Reznikov, and today he said that Ukraine will go on a counterattack all across the front lines, and for now we're just waiting for the frost, for the soil to be more sturdy, for it to maintain the weight of the armored vehicles and tanks. Without them we cannot go on a counterattacks. We're now getting ready for it because recently we used lots of the HIMARS rocket artillery systems and targeted the Russian barracks. So yesterday I showed you the explosion in the Russian military base in Melitopol. My friends, today we got the numbers. Around 200 Russian soldiers were killed there, and they were not demobilized soldiers. They were something more important for the Russia, and there were also some of the Kadyrovites. I published the video on my Telegram group right after explosion. There was the eyewitness, the Russian soldier who was filming everything with his phone, and unfortunately I cannot publish it on YouTube because of the policy, so please check the link for my Telegram channel and there you may find that video. So the guy filming got the very strong Chechen accent. And as for Crimea, we targeted the Russian barracks with mobilized soldiers, so they had some casualties there as well. It's a very important move for Ukrainian army. By the way, I don't know what we used in Crimea, probably some drones. Out of clue, because the distance is far away from Ukrainian controlled territory, and for Russia it's a madness nowadays to put their soldiers very close to the front lines. As for Ukrainian side, our soldiers usually stay in a small households near to the front lines, and at particular time they go on a zero line fighting for Ukraine. Russia cannot do it because they need to accumulate the huge number, let's say, of the soldiers in the big buildings, because if they put everyone in a small household, they will just go drunk. There will be no, they are in lack of discipline and morale. That's why it's hard to collect all of them at particular time to fight at particular point. So that is why there are such an easy targets for Ukrainian rocket artillery systems, and per one rocket attack they may lose lots of their men. So we do expect the counterattack from Ukrainian side very soon. For now the temperature in the south is very high, sometimes up to 15 degrees centigrade, and we should wait for at least -5 average temperature on the south. And we're gonna go to the Melitopol, I'm sure about it, probably January months for that. Okay, I promised for you to keep in touch about the situation in Kosovo and Serbia, so now we got the information this evening that Serbian special forces is going to the Kosovo. The situation is very hot out there. President of Serbia Vučić said that it's gonna be the hard evening for him, and he said he asked everyone, Serbs and Albans, to keep peace in Kosovo and Metohija regions. He also said that United States and Kosovo do not follow the negotiations that were taken about the Kosovo region. The article of Telegraph says that this is a very tough general for Ukraine. General Surovikin is the most competent of all Russian generals who conducted the duties throughout this war. So General Surovikin creates big problems for Ukraine, and he convinced Putin to fire the cruise missiles and ballistic rockets and Shahid drones to target Ukrainian civilian infrastructure. Also, retreatment of the Russian army from Kherson was more accurate compared to the Kharkiv region, so they didn't lost lots of the equipment compared to the north part. Then General Surovikin was not in charge of that withdrawal. But still, one general cannot solve all of the problems that Russian army has, and it's just a matter of time that they will withdraw from the other parts of Ukraine. Yes, my friends, I think in 2023, little by little, Russia would withdraw from the all occupied territories, probably excluding Crimea. It's a big question about Crimea, but anyways, we'll never stop until we're gonna reach the borders of independent Ukraine. Ukraine and Germany signed the agreement to deliver more weaponry to Ukrainian army, and also there are some talks about the Leopard 2 tanks, and I told you in my previous videos that that was already agreed with the United States, the delivery of those tanks. Then it's gonna happen I don't know, my friends. What I know that during the summertime our soldiers went to Germany for the training, and obviously they already passed it and ready to run those tanks. The Washington Post article claims to Crimea highlights slim chance of Russia-Ukraine peace deal. Yes, we are not going to sign that peace deal with Russia unless we'll have our borders recognized, and we are not claiming the Crimea. It's our territory. We have the sovereign right on that one as well. So we're gonna use our military forces also in Crimea, and what they say that Russia may use nukes in that case. Everything may happen in this life, but what would you do? You know, you need to take what is yours, otherwise Putin may use nukes next time. And Putin will say, give me Poland, give me Estonia, Lithuania, or I will use nukes. No, it's not gonna happen, my friends, like that. We should take Crimea, yes, with the risks of the nuclear war, but the world supports Ukraine, and I think Russia would afraid to use nuclear weapons. There is some clashes in Chechnya, so something happened in Urus-Martan. The locals didn't obey the orders from the local police, and that is why Kadyrov ordered his dogs to go to Urus-Martan and, you know, to provide the terror for the locals, and they capture all men, all the locals, Chechen, and they basically frightened them over there. You can see lots of the men, they put militia over there, so nothing is so bright in Russia for Kadyrov and Putin, obviously, and there is some spirit of protests on the North Caucasus region with a Muslim majority. The European Parliament agreed on 18 billion euro help to Ukraine next year, even though Hungary put its veto on that one, but it still agreed with majority. And that is why European Union rules, and Hungary needs to follow the common sense. What Russia is doing in Crimea, they dig the holes in the sand on the beaches, calling it the defense line. It's just pathetic. Right, guys, about the military map, let's zoom into the Bakhmut city, because Russian army has minor successes for today. They moved closer to the city. So this is the Bakhmut itself, residential buildings. They took the most part of the industrial area, so it was yesterday. And it is today they took the most part of it, and here are some lakes that are the natural obstacles for the Russians, and still Ukrainian army try their best to not to let the Russians inside the city, and still Russia wants to encircle the city. That's why they try to get from Yakovlivka on the north, so they took this village just today, so they try to reach Bakhmutsky Solidar unsuccessfully, so they want to get more to the north to Yakovlivka, and they want to take the fields to go from the north and to Bakhmut, but the distance is very huge, more than 20 kilometers. For them it's just crazy task to do to attack Bakhmut from the north. That is why they push also from the south. We don't have the recent tactical maps for the Bakhmut, so maybe tomorrow they will be released and I'll show you everything. About the rest parts of the front lines, everything more or less stands still. On the north and on the east side of Ukraine, temperatures already dropped below zero, but if we speak about the south, Odessa region, Melitopol, the temperature, as I said to you today in Odessa, it was plus 15 during the daytime, so well above the zero, and I guess in Melitopol it's gonna be many more days until temperatures will drop below zero, because we have the hot waters of the Black Sea around here, and it's more on the south. Usually around 2 weeks after the new year we have severe frosts in Ukraine, and I guess our military command is waiting for those to start the counterattack on the south. My friends, I'm gonna keep you updated on situation in Ukraine. If you want to support this channel, just press the like button, it helps me a lot. And if you want to support me financially, there are some of the links in the video description just below. You may support me on Patreon, PayPal or Donatella, whichever is more convenient for you. I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are, and have a great time.